Looking to give your truck a stealthy look and smarter utility without breaking the bank? These are the best Slate-worthy accessories that actually make daily driving, work, and weekend trips easier. And number one is the upgrade most drivers don't realize they need until it's too late. Today's lineup counts down 7 truck accessories that transform style, safety, ride feel, and reliability. Stick around for the top pick, an upgrade that strengthens cold starts, supports modern electronics, and pays you back every single winter. 7. VViViD Matte Black Vinyl Wrap. VViViD's matte black wrap is the fast track to a meaner, paint-like finish without a paint booth or downtime, and it's especially DIY friendly thanks to its air release channels that help purge bubbles as you lay it down. The film is designed to be conformable, so it stretches and shrinks better than generic vinyl, letting you handle curves, mirrors, and bumpers with fewer seams for a cleaner look. On a test panel and a door trim piece, the air release tech made a visible difference. Dry application meant no slippery soap solution, so alignment corrections were simpler and cleaner during install. The finish lands in that sweet spot of matte, not chalky, not plasticky, and looks convincingly OEM plus on pillar trims and partial hood accents. For accent work, the material holds edge tension well when post-heated, reducing the risk of lift around handle cups and sharp corners. Durability is solid for the price tier. VViViD markets this film for long-term use and architectural applications, and it handled light heat cycles without discoloring during trials on interior bezels. For exterior panels, the film's conformability and heat fuse behavior help it settle into recesses, but proper surface prep and patient squeegee work are non-negotiable if you want it to last through seasons. That said, this isn't the thickest or most forgiving film on the market. Budget vinyls can be more prone to minor scuffing during install, so use felt squeegees and keep edges warm and clean to prevent micro-marring. Number 6. Cup Holder Car Tablet Mount. A cup holder tablet mount is an underrated co-pilot for contractors, delivery drivers, and overlanders. Drop it in, dial the base to fit the cup well, and your map, maintenance app, or ELD is right where your eyes need it without blocking vents or the windshield. The better versions accommodate phones up to big 12.9-inch tablets, with adjustable arms and flexible necks to fine-tune angle and glare control in tall cabins. In daily use, the stability felt dependable on smooth roads and acceptable over mild washboards. The base's expandable collar grips cups with surprising bite, so the rig doesn't wobble every time you take a turn or hit the brakes. For crews using iPads or Galaxy Tabs for job tickets and route plans, being able to pivot portrait to landscape quickly is a big plus, and it keeps center stacks uncluttered. The practicality extends to passenger comfort. Long hauls become easier when the mount holds entertainment at an ergonomic height, and the quick-release cradle made swapping devices painless during fuel stops. When parked, the mount tucks down low enough to avoid drawing attention, which is a small but meaningful security perk. However, cup-mounted systems have natural trade-offs. On trucks with shallow or awkwardly placed cup wells, the arm can bump shifters or climate controls, and extra-tall tablets magnify vibration over broken pavement. If you run rough trails often or need rock-solid stability for in-cab video, a hard-mounted floor or dash solution will outperform a cup base, albeit with tools and holes. 5. Suspension rear drop, lowering shackles. Rear drop shackles are the simplest way to level rake or dial in a sportier stance. And on full-size trucks, they can reduce rear-end hop while improving loaded stability by bringing the rear down 1 to 2 inches. The install is straightforward with hand tools and a jack, and ride quality often feels surprisingly stock-like because you're not swapping springs or shocks, just changing shackle geometry. In testing on a half-ton with light payload, the rear drop cleaned up wheel well gaps and reduced the stink bug look without compromising day-to-day comfort. The truck felt more planted mid-corner when unladen. With a mild drop, the center of gravity effect is subtle but welcome, and the stance pairs nicely with slightly larger tires or a tire and wheel upgrade for a cohesive look. Towing and payload behavior remained predictable after the drop when within rated limits. If anything, the reduced rake made hitching and loading more straightforward, though air helper springs are a smart add if you frequently max payload to preserve travel. NVH stayed close to baseline with quality bushings, and no squeaks emerged after the initial settle-in period. As with any geometry change, alignment checks are wise, and it's best to measure fender to hub before and after so you know the exact net change and can confirm both sides match within a few millimeters. Keep an eye on driveshaft pinion angle on deeper drops. Most shackle-only changes are modest, but trucks differ, and driveline vibrations are assigned to reassess angles. 4. JDMSPEED window lift regulator, power window conversion. If your build started with crank windows, a universal power lift conversion brings everyday convenience, especially in work trucks where one-touch control saves time in drive-thrus, tolls, or gate check-ins. The appeal is obvious. Retain your factory glass and tracks while adding powered lift, with switches positioned where your hands naturally land. Install requires patience, routing clean power, grounding properly, and mounting the motor cleanly so it doesn't foul the glass sweep. But the payoff is smooth raise lower action that modernizes the cabin immediately. On test doors, the conversion felt strongest when tracks were freshly lubricated and felt channels cleaned, which reduced strain and noise. A thoughtful switch layout elevates the experience. Mounting a master switch on the driver panel and a secondary on the passenger side mimics OEM feel, and inline fusing protects the circuit from overloads. Doors closed with no extra rattles once fasteners were thread-locked and grommets sealed, and weather performance improved after adding a moisture barrier behind the card. As with many universal kits, the long-term feel depends on install quality. Measuring cable path and avoiding tight bends keeps the motor happier, and a yearly spritz of silicone in the channels keeps friction low. If your glass runs out of true due to worn guides, address that first. No motor enjoys fighting misaligned tracks or swollen weather strips. For the cost and a Saturday of careful work, adding power windows is one of those upgrades you feel every single drive. It's a quiet, quality-of-life win that also boosts resale appeal in work fleets. 3. Everlit Survival Car Emergency Kit. This is the trunk-size co-pilot every truck should carry. Everlit's roadside kit bundles a digital tire inflator, heavy-duty jumper cables, a comprehensive first aid kit, and safety tools into one rugged bag so you're never hunting for pieces when something goes sideways. The curation is thoughtful: glass breaker, seatbelt cutter, reflective triangle, tow rope, gloves, space blanket, and it all packs tight enough to live under a rear seat. On a shakedown run, the compressor's auto shut-off and built-in light made a quick pressure top-up painless at dusk, and the 8-gauge, 12-foot cables clamped securely on a neighbor's dead battery without overheating. The first aid kit covers everyday injuries from road rash to cuts with bandages, antiseptic wipes, and shears, while the hand crank flashlight spares you from dead AA drama. The inclusion list reads like a real roadside checklist rather than a marketing bundle. Zip ties, tape, basic PPE, and signaling gear that actually matter when pulled over on the shoulder. The carry bag is tough enough to toss, and the reflective triangle sets up quickly so oncoming traffic sees you from a distance in low light or rain. There's some overlap if you already carry dedicated gear like a standalone lithium jump starter or a premium inflator. But for one-and-done peace of mind, this kit is a bargain and a smart foundation you can augment seasonally. For winter regions, add extra blankets and water. For desert runs, stash electrolyte packs and sun protection with the bag. Number 2. Rough Country Steel Wheel. Few upgrades change a truck's stance like a well-chosen steel wheel, and Rough Country's painted steel options deliver classic toughness with offsets that fit leveled or mildly lowered setups. The appeal is durability and serviceability. Steel can be refinished after trail kisses, and the look pairs perfectly with all-terrain rubber or a winter tire set dedicated to bad weather duty. Mounting up a set transformed curb presence immediately. The painted finish arrived uniform with no thin spots, and hub-centric fitment kept vibrations minimal at highway speed with fresh balance weights. For work fleets, steel keeps costs down if you bash a rim, and the consistent offset helps avoid fender rub when matched with sensible tire sizes. On dirt, The extra mass compared to alloy is a fair trade for resilience. You get a bit more unsprung weight, but fewer worries about cracking a lip on a sharp rock. Painted steel cleans up easily with a quick rinse and can be spot sanded and reshot if a scratch gets under your skin, keeping the set looking sharp for years. In winter, steel wheels shine as a dedicated snow set. Salt can be rough on finishes, but periodic washing and occasional touch-up stave off corrosion, and the straight-spoke designs shed slush better than intricate alloys. If you value a no-nonsense, serviceable wheel that's easy to keep looking presentable, this hits the brief. Number 1. ACDelco Gold 94 RAM Battery. If there's one upgrade that quietly future-proofs your truck, it's a proper AGM battery, and ACDelco's Gold 94 RAM is the reliable benchmark. High cold cranking amps, deep cycle resilience for modern accessories, and maintenance-free convenience. With a robust 850 cca 80-hour capacity and roughly 140 minutes of reserve, it shrugs off cold starts and supports winches, light bars, and in-cab electronics without sagging. AGM construction means spill-resistant reliability and better vibration resistance, which really matters in trucks that see washboard roads or job site abuse. The sealed design also tolerates repeated starts on stop-start systems better than older flooded cells. The physical package fits the common 94R H7 footprint with terminals in the correct positions and about 51.6 pounds of mass, reassuringly dense for its spec. In real use, voltage stability under accessory load is where this unit earns top billing. Running a compressor, charging tools, and idling with HVAC didn't drag system voltage into the danger zone, and hot restarts stayed crisp. The reserve capacity buys you time if the alternator is struggling, and the battery recovers well after brief deep draws typical of campsite setups. Warranty coverage from the Gold line is a confidence booster, and retailers commonly list the 36-month protection that suits daily drivers and work rigs alike. Between the chemistry and paste formulation, life cycle improves versus value tier alternatives. For trucks with heavy winter duty, the 850 cca rating is the difference between a groan and a fire-up at dawn. Final thoughts. Whether you're chasing stealthy style with a matte wrap, hands-free routing on a tablet mount, a leveled stance with rear shackles, modern convenience with powered windows, road readiness via a complete emergency kit, a set of dependable steel wheels, or the rock-solid reliability of a high-spec AGM battery, these 7 upgrades deliver real-world gains you'll notice every drive. Choose based on your daily pain points first: visibility, uptime, safety, or stance, and you'll get maximum return from the very first mile.